client, or maybe the people who are admitted to hospitals, buying stuff, all the things, children database, everything is protected under the HIPAA. So GDPR, obviously general data protection law. Like for example, I'm interviewing a very high profile guest. He shares the business card with the personal mobile number and details. So I need to make sure, take his consent, whether I can share this information over the net or share the information with my colleagues, his personal information records and his business card or his number, or some companies even who has those kind of provision where you keep these things scanned with the consent of the person, but after a certain period of time, if it's not utilized, we need to destroy the data. We can't endlessly keep someone's data. So those kinds of regulations, these are all compliance and regulations which come into the picture. So let me move on to the next slide. So this is very crazy site. Password should be 12 characters, 14 characters, as I already said, combination, upper, lower, symbols. And this is how your password should be. Keep your passwords as long as hard, as long as hard and possibly hard to guess. So this is where your sense should work. Okay, uppercase, lowercase, numbers. So it should be hard to guess. And yes, why it's hard to guess? As you know that there is a concept of cyber security which is called brute force attack, where people make password combination. So lesser the characters, easier to break. More the characters, more complex, tougher to break. So obviously, I would recommend the Microsoft recommendation of 12 to 14 characters with combinations of upper, lower, letter, symbols, so that you are protected. Next slide. Now passwords, again same thing. Keep your passwords long, strong by using a passphrase. I already said. Never use the same password or passphrase across accounts. Like if you have a Gmail account, you have a Yahoo account, you have your company account, you have other accounts, Facebook account. Don't keep the same password, because if one platform is hacked, all your platforms might get hacked. Yes, you can say there's multi-factor these days, authentications are there, but still try to avoid. Never save password in your email. General tendency of the user is there are lot many passwords. We generally make a file or a text file or maybe a note file and keep it in the email. Oh, these are all the passwords. Never keep them, because if your email gets hacked, the database goes. Don't tick boxes of remembering password on whenever you are opening a website. It generally tells you on your machine that, okay, remember this password, and when you revisit the site like Gmail, etc., you don't have to enter. Yes, you are free from hassle, but if a guest comes and uses the same machine and he says Gmail, your Gmail account opens in front of him because the password is already saved. So don't remember or don't tick that box where it says remember password. Let's moving on to the next slide. Okay, as cybersecurity professionals, when we go for jobs, this is what I look for. Which industries are at risk of cyber attacks? Share of attacks by industry. This is a 2023 projection roughly given by IBM. But yes, 24, you can have more attacks seen. So the major industries are manufacturing, finance, energy, retail, healthcare, public administration, and education. So these are the top industries with lot of data, which attracts lot of cyber threats, attacks on them. That is where the focus of a cyber security professional should be. Yes, there are jobs in the industry. I must target myself and focus myself to these top industries. So this is how I would calculate, I would have seen this site and calculated where to apply for jobs, seeing these kinds of statistics. Moving to next slide. This is a live page of an attack, live page, which these are available free on the Google. You can open up these sites and see how many attacks are live attacks are happening throughout the globe. So on your right hand side of the screen, top countries are shown: United States, India, Japan, Australia, United Kingdom. These are the attacks, top attackers, network ports, sync flood attacks, DNS attacks, top exploits, scan ports. All these are related to a wide variety of network attacks, which they are explaining and showing us a real diagram of where the attacks are happening. This is another map from another company. So it's been showing that yes, the top targeted industries here, as per them, are education, government, and healthcare. And top malware types are phishing, mobile attacks, and adware. Adware is nothing but the ads which come on the site, irritating ads on the side, and when you click, and then it takes to another site which says, okay, download this software, this has happened, and all those. So adwares are nothing but irritating pop-ups which keep coming. So those are adwares. So let's move on to another slide. Now we talked about all the attacks possible. Now we talk about defenses. Defenses means what we can implement to protect ourselves and our data. So firewalls, IDS, IPS, we can, when we are working from home, most companies use a VPN network to connect from home to their official sites, sharing data. Data which travels through a VPN is encrypted. So man in the middle attacks, for man in the middle, someone snooping from between, seeing what is happening, they get a garbled image. It's not clear text. Network segmentation is another good example. Like in a company, we have an accounts department, financial department. Why do they have to sit with all the other people who are browsing the internet? They don't need internet. They are accounting company. They are accounting people. They want to do maybe SAP, Tally, things like that. They don't need internet. So disconnect them, make VLANs and make them completely separate, so that these people are the last people who get attacks, because generally attack happens from outside. Major attack happens from outside. Insider threats are there, but major attacks in the company you can expect outsider to do them. So these are the major attacks. Now we have talked about attacks, we have talked about defenses. Now this is incident response and recovery. Yes, an incident had happened. So what would happen? The first thing, there would be a help desk in every company. So the person would say, hello, I'm seeing a suspicious activity on the network. Somebody would take it down as an incident. Before going further, that person will ask you a few questions and validate whether actually an incident has happened. Because a lot of companies, what happens, even a network cable is disconnected, somebody will say, I'm attacked. No, you are not attacked. So there are few sets of questions asked by the help desk person to rate whether yes, it's a cyber attack, whether it's yes, a malware attack, or something happened which is showing activity on the network, slowing down the system. That professional would make an incident report or an incident call regarding what has exactly happened. Next comes data backups. Obviously, backups are very important. It's not about only cyber attacks. It could be natural disaster. It could be fire. It could be hardware failure of the server. Your whole motherboard has gone for some reason and your storage is attached, or maybe you have a RAID box in the same server, RAID working on it, all the data is sitting on that. So obviously you need to have backups, and backups can be obviously on site, off site, or maybe in the cloud. That depends upon the company policy. Post incident analysis. So basically, whenever something happens, there should be a post incident analysis done. What happened, why it happened, who were involved in this, so that you learn, or we say lessons learned. So post analysis is very essential for any organization to overcome or to find ways to protect your network further. Let's move on to the next slide. As most of you who have connected here are maybe students who want to know about different fields, jobs in the cyber security. So what jobs you can get in cyber security analysis, pen tester, security engineer and consultant, as I gave you an example of an incident responders, a wholesale security architect, a compliance manager who does governance, risk portfolios, make policies, make procedures, risk officer, obviously, yes, find out the threats, give recommendation, digital forensics, what happened, traces, logs. These are the people who would find out what has happened. Like I'll just share a real life scenario which recently happened, the Akira attack, the ransomware attack which happened. So I can't give you exact specific, but I'll tell you the brief what exactly happened. So this ransomware attack happened in some company. Actually, the attackers came into the network from one of the weak systems of say Windows 7 or weak system. They went into the network. From the network, they went into the Active Directory. From Active Directory, they went to the VMs and they went to the VM consoles. They made their own VM. They moved the storage where the storage was attached, initial attached. They moved the storage to their own VM, created VM, and they encrypted the entire storage. And then what did they did? Since they are professionals, they started erasing their tracks. So the important is that you know how to read logs, how to find out what has happened, and time stamping is very critical. Labeling, when you do digital forensic, labeling, handling of evidence, these are all procedures which we need to follow. The last but not least, a chief information officer or CISO is the highest position where you can climb up. So this is some of the ladders. There are a lot of job opportunities. As per the US statistics, 37% to 40% rise has been seen in cybersecurity jobs across the world. So you can very well imagine there is a big scope of jobs and variety of courses are available to do a cybersecurity. But as a wholesome, I would request people who are entering into the field, if they have time, rather than doing one course, two course, they do a network course. They understand the different hardware, softwares behind a network, rather than just jumping into a cloud network and saying, okay, we are a cloud security engineer. No, you should know the basics, LAN, WAN, MAN, all this, how it's connected, how the data flows, OSI layers, the model, so that yes, when the attack happens, you have end-to-end knowledge of what is happening, where data goes, what happens to the data, and how to protect the data. Let me move on to the next slide. Okay, thank you very much. That was a slide, small slide show to show you what cybersecurity is all about. Some, yes, real life examples I would take now with some questions if somebody have. So let me talk about some real life examples, what happened and how it happened. Recently, just few months back, I went to a company. There was a guard outside the company. Asked me who you are. I said, I'm so and so. I want to meet so and so. He said, okay, do entry in the register. I said, yes. I did an entry in the register. He opened the door. I went. I went inside their whole office, took pictures of the entire office, came out. I didn't meet the person at all. I went. So actually, that company hired us to find out the weak points of physical security issues in that office. So they wanted a report on physical security issues. So after those, we train the guards to note down, to call the person inside to cross check whether I had an appointment with them or not, authenticate me by seeing my Aadhaar card or something, or maybe when I enter a phone number, call me and see whether the phone rings or not, whether that number actually belongs to me. I'm writing it actually belongs to me. So these are some levels, whether the CCTV is there, whether fire protection systems are there. This was part of the physical audit of a company. So cyber security is physical. It's not related to only your physical aspects of network. It could be identity management and protection. It could be physical protection like your guards, your CCTV, your cameras, your door, lock, sensor, biometrics, lot of things in cybersecurity. It's a whole soul approach. Any questions? Let me read out some of the questions which have come in.
So, Vishwanathan, I think we are getting a question about Quizathon. So, we'll be taking that later. First, I would like to request you to answer one of my queries. I just wanted to understand, since you have been working with the cybersecurity uh, as a cybersecurity consultant for so long, I just wanted to understand what is the skill gap the companies they are looking for, and what you already have mentioned what kind of job opportunities are there, but is there a gap in the industry and the kind of skill set that that is available in the market? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. I think
I think to Vishwanathan it's probably not audible. I'll write down in the chat box.
yeah. So what we can do is we can write all the questions which we have. I will
Yes,
request
yes,
each
yes.
and every participant to write their questions in the chat box, and Vishwanathan can take the questions one by one.
Yeah, I'm happy to take questions now. I think I'm I'm not getting the audio from any participants. If anyone would want to ask a question or
Amrish, it would be okay. Will it be okay if you can read out the questions?
yes, I got the audio from Rajat.
Okay, so am I audible, Vishwanathan?
Yes, I am audible. Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Okay. So, Vishwanathan, I just wanted to understand what kind of skill gap is there in terms of cybersecurity. So, the kind of job opportunities that is available within the industry, and the kind of gap uh, in terms of skill set that is required for that.
So yes, it's a very good question. Basically, the skill gap. If I talk about cyber security in any company, the the rate at which cyber security is growing, that the networks, cloud, you can't have everybody. Now, what is happening is the skill gap is there. Like network engineers don't talk to cloud engineers don't talk. There's a huge set of gap. So as a cyber security professional, what the companies are doing, you are cyber security professionals have the best advantage that they are reachable from the top bottom to the highest management. Like a cyber security analyst who does a small job, maybe analyzing incident reporting, he also has an access to the CISO, because like I say, a small incident could lead to a bigger thing, a bigger picture. And the number of job available in cyber security and the skill sets which people have skill sets, but people not don't have a holistic skill set. People are doing certifications but not taking a holistic view of network. Like people are taking maybe an ethical hacking course, but they are not going into a CCNA or maybe IC square certification. There is a huge difference between the skill sets. So, and there is a huge difference between the knowledge sets of these two individuals. So there are jobs available, but I would request people and students who are actually taking the exam to take a holistic view. Don't think that cyber security is just a 6 months program. It's a continuous learning because new attacks keep coming.
Thank you so much, Vishwanathan.
What kind of jobs are available? Okay, yes, there are variety of jobs, as I already mentioned, like cyber security analysis, pen, you can become a pen tester, you can become an ethical hacker. Companies are actually doing a lot of hackathon programs these days to encourage kids to join their cyber security, find bugs, be a bug bounty. They are paying money for that. Hundreds and hundreds of opportunities available in this cyber security field. You can, say I would just give an example of a range of salaries. Minimum salary is 45 to 60,000, and it goes from 45,000 to a 4 lakh rupees package, which CISOs and Chief Information Officer is drawing. So you can see the amount of variable we have and the ladder we can climb on. So it's not restricted to one particular thing. Today you are an analysis, maybe tomorrow you can go next ladder, tomorrow next ladder, as you start gathering more skill sets and get more qualifications and certifications. So certifications and constant learning is the key for success in cybersecurity. Any other questions from anyone, Amresh?
I would request everyone, if they have any questions, please write down in the chat box, because everyone do not have access to the mic. Okay, I think we are not getting any queries.
Yes,
Probably.
I'm not seeing
Okay,
anything
so
coming.
yeah, I can see
There is one more
so there are
question.
one question which we have. It is like, what are the level of courses?
Level of
That is,
courses, yes.
yeah.
So if I started as an engineer, so the way I look at them, maybe there would be different people. So when you talk about attack, as we say, attack has an attack surface. If you want to attack a house, you see how many windows are there. If you want to attack a network, you would see how many devices are there, where the weak points are there. So networking, you should know basics of networking. If you want to really think how an attacker thinks, you think from an ethical hacking point. If you have that kind of a certification clubbed with cyber security, so ethical hacking would really help you. understand the TCP/IP concepts, understanding the OSI layers, basic networking will help you. Then how devices are protected, which device is used to protect, how they function, like an IPS, an IDS, a firewall, what these devices do. If you know how these devices work, maybe a CCNA certification at the next level, an IC2 and an IC square CC certification. If you really want to go up the ladder, maybe a CISSP certification. So the highest level possible certifications are there. So I would say certifications are no end, but I would request everyone to do certification from authorized centers. Online offers everything. There are hundreds of online sites which give you a certificate for your money. Don't, but as an HR, as an industry person, I can tell you those certifications don't have any value. I don't value the certifications from online courses. There are courses and companies, they should be recognized from government or government run institutions, or they should be institutions which are internationally recognized, like an maybe I can give some example, CompTIA, which is the industrial neutral certifications they provide, IC2, Cisco, CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, vendor neutral certifications are also there and company specified, and these are industry level standard certifications. If you see jobs, ITIL, basic procedures, laws, policies, whatever you want to see, frameworks in the ITIL. So these are the basic certifications which you can do as a realistic wholesome package, and then go forward with your careers in cybersecurity.
Hello. Yeah, there was one more question from a candidate. She's asking, how does AI impact cybersecurity?
Yes. Uh, See, as AI, now what have you heard about now a scam which is going on WhatsApp, where a person who actually acts, a threat actor acts as a father of somebody and are attacking senior citizens, mostly senior citizens, with a video call. So the person looks exactly as his father, calling, say, I am in an airport, I'm stuck, I don't have a proper network, with a hazy face in a background. I'm stuck. Somebody has taken my wallet away. Immediately, can you transfer this amount of money? And lot of scams are going. And with AI, the best part, on a defensive part, also AI is helping. Lot of SIM tools have AI capabilities where it detects lot of logs are being getting filtered out using AI, because when you start looking at dumps or logs like TCP/IP dump, Wireshark dumps of network, thousands of data is collected, and you have to segregate. You see the timestamp. So AI really helps us in segregating all this. Any other question?
I think there are two more which I can see on the screen. One is, what regulations and compliance standards govern cybersecurity?
Yes. So
And
there's no one standard which governs. There are multiple standards which govern. So if you really want to read more about governance, you can go to NIST standards. NIST this gives a lot of standards. Cybersecurity is most of the principles where data is protected is governed by European side, is governed by GDPR. India has now got a DPDP bill in 23. You can read on the website, is available, which governs all the standards of cyber security, data protection, data violation, and all those things. The DPDP is also covering a lot of standards. The HIPAA is covering the healthcare sector of the thing. PSI DSS covers the credit card industry standards. So there is no one committee which governs. It all depends upon what data and what type governance is required. So data is mostly said GDPR, and healthcare HIPAA, card industry PSI DSS, mostly covered. So general sense, you need to protect your data.
I think we just have one last question. That is, we have. So there's what precautions should you take when using public Wi-Fi such as hotels?
So that's a very good question from Apur. Uh, I would personally not recommend using a public or a hotel Wi-Fi. Personally, would not recommend. Nowadays, you all have mobile phones with good data. You have hotspots available with you to carry. But if you really want to use a public network or a Wi-Fi or a Wi-Fi in a hotel or Wi-Fi in a maybe airport area, be very careful of not sharing your personal data. Try to create multiple logins into your machine, have two usernames or two profiles, log in with a guest profile so that your C drive, D drive are protected, uh, and only do private browsing. Don't leave your cookies behind or make credit card payment or don't open bank website and start making payment on sitting in an airport. Be very cautious that those are maybe man in the middle attack is happening or something or other is happening. So be cautious. Keep your uh, browsers, laptop, everything with a proper antivirus, malware detection software should be running. Your software firewalls must be on. These are some of the basic precautions that you generally use. Go private mode browsing, delete your cookies, don't share your username and password, OTP, and don't do banking, etc. when you are on a public Wi-Fi networks. Rajat, I'm not getting the audio from you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Rajat. Yes, now you are.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a ton for this fantastic session. And we are close to the end of the session. I'd like to thank Mr. Vishwanathan for such a wonderful session. And also to all our attendees, your participation made this webinar engaging and insightful. It was a really engaging session. And thank you, Vishwanathan.
Thank you all, and thanks for attending. If you have any further question, participants, generally students might have, they can either write to me on my LinkedIn profile or maybe write to my personal Gmail address also. I would love to help students across to find good courses, and I think they can connect to the institute, which is providing a fantastic environment for them.
What I can do is I will drop our official email ID on the chat for all the participants so that they can go there and they can drop in their questions, if any, and we can share that across with you, Vishwanathan.
Sure. We can do that, and I would love to help them all. Thank you very much for inviting me, Rajat, and the whole team of RCAT.
Thank you, Vishwanathan. Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Thank you all to all the attendees.
Yeah, thank you all. Closing.